Hi, I'm Daniel Korschun, Associate Professor of Marketing at Drexel University. Welcome to the conversation. I'm speaking with Natalie Shin. She's a second-year organizational behavior student, doctoral student that is, at Drexel. And she's here to tell us a little bit about what brought her to Drexel and how research is coming along. Natalie, tell us about what brought you to Drexel.
Well, I worked for different companies and held different positions for about 5 years prior to joining Drexel. And from my diversified career experiences, I learned that my perceptions and behaviors change depending on the position or the team or the people that I interacted with. And I'm fascinated by the significance of work environment and team culture on my job performance. And that essentially drove my interest in pursuing PhD. And the implications stemming from those work environment related factors are powerful, and I believe there are limitless research opportunities in that regard.
Right. So it sounds like you're taking your real world experiences and trying to study those exact
Right.
those exact topics.
Mm-hmm.
How are you finding the transition from the working world to the academic world? It's one that I had to make as well.
Mm-hmm.
How have you found that transition to be?
Well, my first year has been pretty tough, personally. As practitioners or even undergraduate students, we don't read scholarly articles, and simply getting used to reading article journals and deciphering the contents took me a while. And there are also different levels of statistics and data analytics involved in research, and there was definitely a learning curve in that areas also. But I'll be done with most of my classes and should have more time to do my own research starting on my third year, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, it is. It's a big adjustment, but it's the payoff is big too. Tell us about the research that you're doing now. I know you're engaged with the medical school and doing some work with them. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I have 3 research projects that are going on currently, and the Drexel Medicine research is the one that I recently joined, and it's led by Lauren Denattenzo. And we are in the exploratory phase right now, but we plan to do a data collection in partnership with Drexel Medicine. And what we want to know if there are ways to mitigate the burnout and stress among healthcare providers. And research shows that U.S. physicians are more likely to show the symptoms of burnout and be dissatisfied with work life compared to other comparable U.S. working adults. And this issue is well recognized in the healthcare industry. And they recently added a 4th aim to what is used to be a triple aim. And the 4th aim is related to improving the work life of healthcare providers. And I want to understand how much of this burnout and stress is resulting from emotion and perceptions rather than the actual workload, as in work hours.
How pervasive is burnout in industry? In general?
It's more than half. Different studies shows different percentages, but it's between 55% to 70%. So
Of just working people in general are burned out in some way.
physicians and nurses and staff, the healthcare providers.
That's a tremendous amount that you're working on. And traditionally, how have people looked at this?
Usually with survey data, but we think the appropriate approach would be exploratory qualitative interviews with physicians and nurses and staff to really understand their day-to-day work life as well as their main concerns. And from that information, we can dig into the literature to see what phenomena are potentially related to those issues.
You mentioned that you're looking at the more emotional angle about the emotions of the job. How does that differ from research before or the current state of research as you find it?
So work using the archival data and comparing the work hours and the amount of responsibilities and linking them to the perception of burnout was one traditional way. But we want to consider also the environment, the contextual factors such as team dynamics or hierarchies within a team to understand like how those factors influence the emotions and perceptions of individuals, and that emotions in turn leading to stress and burnout.
Fascinating research. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining the conversation. We'll see you next time with another one of our very promising doctoral students.